What if the internet was never invented? Imagine waking up one morning and the internet never existed. No Google, no social media, no email, no online videos, just silence. It's hard to imagine modern life without the internet. But what if it was never invented at all? To understand this, we first need to remember why the internet was created. The internet began as a military and research project. Its goal was simple: share information quickly and safely. No one planned social media. No one imagined online shopping. No one predicted a digital world. So, what happens if this invention never appears? Let's start with communication. Without the internet, communication would be slow. Letters would still dominate long distance conversations. Phone calls would be expensive and limited. No instant messaging, no video calls, no group chats. Families living in different countries might speak only a few times a year. Friendships would fade more easily. Global relationships would be rare. The world would feel much bigger and farther apart. Now let's talk about information. Without the internet, information would move slowly. People would rely on books, newspapers, libraries, and television. Finding knowledge would take effort. You couldn't search for anything instantly. Learning would be limited by location and access. Education would remain unequal. Those with libraries and good schools would advance. Others would fall behind. Online learning would not exist. No tutorials, no free courses, no global classrooms. Education would be more exclusive. Now let's talk about work and business. Without the internet, most modern jobs would disappear. Remote work would not exist. Freelancing would be rare. Global hiring would be nearly impossible. Companies would operate locally. Businesses would grow more slowly. Innovation would move at a reduced pace. Online banking would not exist. No digital payments, no instant transfers. Shopping would remain physical. No e-commerce, no online stores, no next-day delivery. Small local shops would dominate. Global brands would grow much more slowly. Now let's talk about media and entertainment. Without the internet, television and radio would control information. News would be filtered and delayed. Fewer voices would be heard. Independent creators would struggle to exist. No YouTube, no podcasts, no streaming. Music and movies would be limited to physical media. Entertainment would be less personalized, and creativity would have fewer outlets. Now let's talk about social media. Without the internet, social media would not exist. This would remove many modern problems. No constant comparison, no endless scrolling, no viral misinformation. Mental health issues tied to social media might be lower, but there is another side. Social movements would struggle to organize. Voices from small communities would remain unheard. Change would happen more slowly. Now let's talk about politics and power. Without the internet, governments would control information more easily. News would flow one way, from the top down. Public awareness would be limited. Protests would be harder to organize. Corruption might remain hidden longer. The internet gave people a voice. Without it, power would stay concentrated. Now let's talk about science and medicine. Medical research would progress more slowly. Doctors would not share data instantly. Global cooperation would be limited. Pandemic response would be delayed. Scientific breakthroughs would take longer. Many lives might be lost simply due to slow information sharing. Now let's talk about culture and identity. The internet connects cultures. Music, language, fashion, and ideas travel instantly. Without it, cultures would remain isolated. Global understanding would be weaker. Stereotypes would persist longer. The world would feel divided into separate bubbles. Now here's the biggest question. Would life be better or worse without the internet? The answer is complicated. Life might feel calmer, slower, less overwhelming, but it would also be limited, less connected, less equal. The internet brought problems, but it also brought opportunity. It gave people access to knowledge, a voice to speak, and tools to create. So what if the internet had never invented? The world would still function, but it would move more slowly, think smaller, and connect less. This thought experiment reminds us of something important. Technology itself is not good or bad. How we use it is what shapes the future. The internet changed the world forever, and once something connects humanity this deeply, there is no going back.